feels like you might be losing your mind, trust me, I lose my mind all the time. It's simply part of trying to be someone that is real in a world that celebrates everything that is fake. Hello and welcome. I hope you are having a fantastic, wonderful, amazing, just absolutely glorious day. Today we are going to talk about the spiritual awakening journey. But before I do that, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. We're getting close, between the short videos that I'm doing and these videos, we're getting close to almost 100 subscribers now, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you can, please take a moment and click that button for me. You can also click the bell notification and so on and so on. And also, I would like to ask that if you have any thoughts on the conversations that we are having, or if there's anything that you would like us to talk about here, please leave a comment. Okay, this doesn't have to be a monologue. I don't have to be the only one talking. Please reach out. I will respond to all of the comments. Okay, so today we are talking about the spiritual awakening journey. Now, I have seen a lot of information out there when it comes to this particular topic, where people like to say that this happens in stages, right? So there's an X amount of stages that everybody goes through as part of their spiritual awakening journey, and then they ask you to look at which stage do you think you are in. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that there are stages, right? There are definitely things that happen. The kind of issue that I have with a staged approach is that each and every single person is unique, and the journey from whence you awaken spiritually up to the point from there up until the point where you reach enlightenment will be different, right? There's no one way to do this, and so stages for me implies that I'm going to go through stage 1. Then if I've mastered it, I go to stage 2, I master it. I go to stage 3, I master it, and so on and so on and so on. I don't really like that. See, each human being is an individual. They are completely unique. Let me explain this, right? When you were born, from the very first time you opened your eyes, you've been observing the world. You've been gaining knowledge. You've been building this repository of information, right? And no single person, their experience, what they've observed, what they've learned, how they've integrated it into their system will be the same as anyone else. So I don't think that each person is going to go through the same things, to be perfectly honest. On top of that, right, your soul, before it comes to this world, it actually decides the route it wants to take. And it lays throughout your life certain catalyst events, okay? Catalyst events that is going to start or kick off the awakening process, right? So you might go through something and then suddenly something massive happens, right? Unexpected, completely out of the blue, and it changes your entire perspective of something, right? These are what I would like to call the catalyst events, and there's a few of them. And that kicks off the awakening process. Now, what we also need to remember is when we awaken, that is the beginning. It's not the end, right? We are not being awakened doesn't mean we've achieved anything. Okay, we've just hit a point in life where a catalyst event has occurred, and we are now more aware because of it. All right. So when we talk about the spiritual journey, again, just to come back to the stages, you might hit stage 5 first, then go back to stage 2, then do 1, then do 3, and finally end by 4. So that's why I don't like the stage approach. There's nothing wrong with it. And any information you can get on this is good information, right? But what I would like to say about the spiritual journey is that there are 4 things that you are going to lose, right? It's that simple. And initially, it's going to feel like a loss. It's going to feel like you are losing things. But in retrospect, right? They are liberation events. Okay, if the goal is to hit a catalyst event, become awakened, start the journey towards enlightenment, then you need to hit a point where you are free, right, of everything that has been holding you back all of your life. And that's what I call liberation events. Things that you're going to experience. You're going to go through them, right? And they're going to make you question, am I even on the right road? But even though they do feel like losses in the moment, they are liberation events. Okay. Number one, the first thing that you're going to lose is yourself. Plain and simple, right? Now, if you've seen the video that we've done on the ego, you will understand that every single person from birth up until the point where they are now in life goes through the natural process of constructing an ego for themselves. That ego, okay, is this picture that I've created in my own mind about who I am. Which is why when you ask people, who are you, they trip over themselves, right? If you ask them, who are you, they will say, well, I am an architect. And you say, no, I'm not asking, what are you doing? I'm asking, who are you? And then they say, well, I like to go fishing. And again, that's not what I'm asking, right? So most people actually don't know who they are. They merely know the ego that they've designed for themselves and what that ego does. Right, so the first thing you are going to lose is yourself. Okay, because the moment you go through the awakening event, a lot of what's going to happen and what is going to go on in your mind is you are going to start seeing ways that you have been building limited belief systems that are essentially holding you back. I like to call these ones mental prisons, right? We construct mental prisons throughout our entire life. Now, a lot of people wouldn't see it like that, right? So if I say, well, who are you? And I say, okay, well, you know what? I am a musician that likes to make country music, right? On the one hand, yes, that is something that you do enjoy, right? But it is something you enjoy. It shouldn't be who you are. Okay? You are much more. You are much greater. You are something completely different, right? So the moment you go through the awakening process and you realize that I am more than this body, I am more than this mind, I am not the emotional state that exists in here, but this whole thing is more virtual reality goggles that I put on myself so that I can experience this reality, right? That's when you start waking up. And that's when you start saying, well, you know what? If I am so much more than just this body, this mind, this emotional state, then I'm not going to limit myself anymore, right? And that's when these mental prisons start falling down. So the first thing you lose is yourself. The second and third things very much go hand in hand. And it's fascinating because just because you've had an awakening event does not mean that you are actually going to start the journey. Because a lot of people get scared. A lot of people feel fear. A lot of people feel, if I change myself too much, how are people going to perceive me, right? And there's all these things that we struggle with. And a lot of people actually go through 3, maybe 4 of these awakening catalyst events, but they never actually start the journey because they decide to much rather stay where it's safe and to rather stick to what they think has been working all of their lives. So number 2 and number 3 go very much hand in hand. Firstly, you are going to lose, okay, your interest in anything that causes a lower vibrational state. Okay. Any addictions that you might have. Now, let's talk about addictions. Addictions are not, I'm an alcoholic and I need help. Addictions are things that we simply cannot envision ourselves living without, right? We as people have become addicted to social media. We have become addicted to dopamine. We have become addicted to alcohol. We have become addicted to tobacco. There's so many things, right, that we get addicted to throughout our lives. And in a weird way, these things become coping mechanisms, right? So we are not dealing with problems or issues or ego, centric problems that we are facing, but we are much rather just jumping to different things in order to cope, because it makes us feel better for a little while. But all of these things lower your vibrational state. All of these things are going to bring you down, right? If you are a regular drinker, you drink every now and then, right? And you stop drinking for 3 months, right? The way you feel after those 3 months will most likely motivate you not to drink again. Okay, it's that simple. Anything that lowers our vibrations are going to become annoying to you. All right. So the second thing you're going to lose is the things, are these addictions, these lower vibration things that we either consume or that we do, right? And the third one is a big one. The third one is a massive one, right? Losing myself, becoming a more rounded individual, getting rid of my mental prisons, becoming who I truly am. That's great. It's a liberating feeling. Getting rid of all of these things that lower my vibrational state, that actually really feels good, right? So now suddenly I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more hopeful. I'm feeling more positive. I've got more energy, right? I'm feeling good. It's the third one that trips most people up. Number 3, you're going to lose people. All right? It's that simple. People, how do I put this elegantly? 90% of all the people that is in your life now is in your life because they're getting something from you. That is the reality, right? 90% of the people in your life is there because you are fulfilling in some need that they may have. And that's why those connections form. If you used to be a bit of a party animal, and you used to get out there and party every weekend, and like 50 people, and it's always the same crowd and all of those kinds of things, the moment you stop drinking, what is going to happen? People are no longer going to be interested in calling you. They're not going to invite you anymore because you are not the fun person or the party animal or the crazy guy that they used to know. The third one is the toughest, and a lot of people are very scared of it. Let's say you were part of a group of people, right? And they are they have very strong belief systems, right? And now suddenly you start to see in them how they are limiting themselves through all of these different belief systems, right? You have one of two choices. You are either going to try and discuss it with them, or number 2, you would rather just, I'm accepting these guys exactly for who they are, and I'm happy with it. But the reality is that at some point, that relationship is going to have to break, right? And a lot of people experience isolation during their spiritual journey, and it's because of this. But you have heard of this thing, I think it's quite popular: your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So don't fret, don't think it's over, don't think you're going to be alone for the rest of your life, right? But all of these things that you are now going through, you're losing yourself, you are becoming who you truly are, you are losing all of these little addictions and all of these low vibratory things. You are becoming much more energetic, you're becoming clearer, right? Now, suddenly, people don't know who you are anymore. And they say, well, you have changed. And the simple reality is that, yes, they have, but we have to change, right? We have to. If you look at the way the world is going and the way people are in this world, and with the suicide rates being as high as they are, the violence that we see on the regular, the simple reality is that this world is not working, right? And it's because people are refusing to change. They are refusing to evolve, to become more, to become who they truly are. And sadly, I saw this meme. It was very. I thought it was very true, where they said, for those that awaken, they will realize that 90% of the people are bots designed to keep the systems in check, right? And the thing is just that everybody has been so indoctrinated, so educated, so schooled, so this, so that, that the way the world is going, they think that's normal. They think that's fine. They think it's perfect, right? And if you bring something up that doesn't necessarily sit with the way they view things, they will reject you. So the third thing you will lose is people. But don't worry, okay? Please don't worry. Other people will come in, right? The moment you are vibrating at a certain state, you will again meet people that is vibrating at that same state, because your vibe attracts your tribe, okay? It's that simple. So the first thing was you lose yourself. The second thing was you lose these addictions, these low vibratory behaviors, low vibratory people. The third thing is you're going to lose people. And the one that I struggled the most is number 4. You will lose your mind. That's it. You are going to lose your mind. You're going to question this reality. You're going to question the world. You're going to start questioning, am I even real? Right? You will lose your mind. Okay, it's going to happen, but not in a bad way, right? Not in the way where we need to go see somebody that's going to need to, help us work through it. But you will lose your mind. And the reason for that is that once you lose yourself and you lose people that's been holding you back and limiting you, once you lose behavioral patterns and low vibratory things in your life, right, you're going to reach a point where you feel that I see things so differently. I have so much more hope, so much more positivity, okay? I see things from a different perspective. But I can never explain it to anyone in this world. I can never relay this information that I have to anyone, because they will think I'm nuts. They will think you're a madman or a mad woman or a mad whatever, right? And the reality is that took me a while to work through, right? That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I started this channel, because it is so difficult. And you guys saw what happened to Jim Carrey, right? When he went through his thing, everybody thought he was nuts. They wanted to commit this man, right? And there's this phase where you just see so much. You hear so much. You're experiencing so much that to wrap your head around it and to bring that information out in a way that is understandable and digestible to somebody that has never experienced this is going to drive you nuts, right? Because you know what can be done, but nobody's going to do it, right? I like to call it the great profound sadness. It's when you work with people and you know that if they could just see things in a certain light, that it would solve their problem, that they would no longer be depressed, that they would no longer feel as badly as they do. But you can't make them understand. You can't force them to see things the way you do. And they suffer because of it. And all of those things will drive you nuts for a while. Until such a time as you then start to realize that I cannot change people. I cannot change the way they view things. But what I can do is I can sow. I can put little seeds in the minds of people and hopefully watch it grow, right? And that's all we really can do. Now, to bring this all together, right? When it comes to the spiritual journey that you will go through, right? You will lose yourself, you will lose people, you will lose a lot of the things that you've been doing. You're going to lose your mind for a little while there, right? But all of these things are normal. What you are attempting to do, and firstly, let me say I commend your bravery and I respect you for going down this path, because it's not easy and you need to be super brave and you need to be a little bit tough. But all the indoctrinations, all the BS that this world has put on you for the last, for me, 40 years, to break through that shell and to elevate yourself above that, and to then say that, no, I am done with this. I will live in a way that I am happy with. I will live in a way that brings me joy. I'm going to follow my highest passions in totality, because those are my soul missions. It is the scariest crap you will ever do, by far. And so I commend you for your bravery, and I respect you for going through these steps, for trying. But what we end up with by the end is you that can live as an authentic human being that is no longer influenced by the way the world wants you to see things, but much rather by how you choose to perceive things. You get to choose the life you want. You get to create the life that you want. And despite the fact that breaking through all of these things that's been keeping you back, the end result is worth it. Two things I want to warn you against. Firstly, never ever, 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 never, never, ever, ever compare your journey to that of someone else. And never try to put people on this path when they are not ready. Okay, that's the one big thing. It's the nevers, alright? Never compare yourself. Never think that you are less or more enlightened than anyone, awakened than anyone. You are not more one than anyone. We are all just one, right? And never try to force your viewpoints on people. That's how we lose people, right? If somebody just started reading on something fascinating for them, very magic, right? And even though I think it's a very limiting thing to just focus on that and to just live with that, you know what? I'm going to commend them, because they are willing to step outside that comfort zone. They are willing to go beyond what the world tells them is fine and normal and okay. And they are willing to embrace that magical. They are willing to believe that there's more. And for that, I will always respect anyone. So we never compare, right? And the second thing is beware of teachers and guides. All right. A lot of people on social media are there, okay, to make money. Okay, that's a simple thing. A lot of people on social media are there to make money. It's good to make money, right? Making money is good. There's nothing wrong with making money. But a lot of people will come up with anything, and they will tell you all these big stories just to make money, right? So be careful who you listen to. Or another way to say this is listen to everyone, okay? But only incorporate the things that resonates with you, okay? Your soul knows best. Your higher self knows Resonance is important. Things need to resonate with you. And if they do, incorporate them. If they do not, let them go. Information is good. And the second thing is, a lot of people do find guides, people that have gone through a lot of these things, right? And they've come out the other side and they see the world very differently, and they are trying to, pull people in. And that's good. It's good to have a guide. It's good to have somebody that's walked a similar path, right? And that's been through similar challenges. Okay. But if anyone, especially a teacher or a guide, ever tells you, don't worry, I know exactly how you feel, they're lying. Because no single person on this planet can actually know exactly how you feel. They can't understand what you are working through. They cannot pretend to be you. Now, a lot of people might have tremendous amounts of empathy, right? And they might pick up on your emotional states, and they might then be able to respond with advice that's relevant for what you are feeling, right? But they still don't know everything there is to know, right? So they might pick up on your feelings, but that doesn't mean they know. So anybody that tells you, look, man, don't stress about it. I know exactly what you're going through. It's not a big deal. Don't listen to them, right? Because nobody can ever know exactly what you feel or what you are going through or what you're working through. The best that anyone can do for you is to give you space and say, look, talk to me. Tell me everything, right? And then once they've listened, they can give you options. And they can say, look, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know, I'm not you, but this is what I'm thinking. And these are maybe ways we can work and we can do things. And that's very important, guys, because remember, if you've reached this point, no information that you are going to receive is new. Okay? You already know all of this. You have just forgotten it. All right? So the breadcrumbs that your higher self left for you throughout your life is unique, and they are there for you, right? So you need to follow your own path. But it's just important to understand that once we hit this point, and this is the one thing that I can say is important, it's the one thing that I think everybody should experience, feel, or should start doing at the very least, is once you hit this part, it's no longer about you. It's about everyone else, right? Once you see things for what they are, once you've worked through all of your traumas, your problems, your things, once you hit a certain point, suddenly you will start to realize that I am okay, but nobody else is. 90% of this world is lost. That you might call them sleepers. You might say they're asleep. I like the word lost. They're just lost. They are lost in the systems. They are lost in their desires. They are lost to their addictions. They are lost to the dopamine hits that we get from social media. They're lost. They're not wrong. They're not bad. They're just lost. And the thing is that you can't change them, but you can always be there for people when they need someone. And I think that is what we can do. That is what we can offer to this world. Once we've gone through our spiritual awakening journey, and once we have experienced that there is more than just this world that everybody seems to be so stuck in, right? And that is what I want to bring to you today. I wanted to make it a much shorter video, but for some reason I just keep on going. Sorry, guys. Sometimes this is real. Okay, this is real. Just bear with me. There are moments where when my ears hear the words that I'm saying, that is the first time I know what I'm saying, right? So I go into these things where everything I'm saying is not from me. It's not from my brain. It's not something I'm making up. It comes from here, right? And I'm just the mouthpiece for whatever information needs to go through me right now, right? So I think if you found this video, it was meant for you. I think if you found my channel, that it was meant for you. It's a small channel, right? It doesn't have a lot of people. It gets very little views. But if you are one of the people that found this channel, that's listening to this music, I nearly said music, that's listening to, well, it is music, right? Let's be honest, like it's a type of music, that is listening to me right now. This was meant for you, okay? This was meant for you. And I need to just let you know that what you are going through, this journey that you have decided to undertake, I commend you for it, and I respect you for it. And you are more brave than most of the people I have met in my life. And you are worthy of love. You are worthy of acceptance. You are worthy. And you are not a mistake. And there's nothing wrong with you. And even if it feels like you might be losing your mind, trust me, I lose my mind all the time. It's simply part of trying to be someone that is real in a world that celebrates everything that is fake. So please be strong. Push on through. I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you for joining today. I really hope that this video helps. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please, please let me know. All right. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.